Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
I know that this is an Eagles game day, all right? The Eagles played the Patriots, 425. It was a big game. They lost, but I understand that this Sunday was an Eagles game day. But the Sixers still played a game. They had an afternoon tilt at 3 o'clock. Now, I don't know who scheduled that, all right? Very poor planning on their part. But it still happened, and I had to watch it. I needed to see this team take a step in the right direction. They did that. They absolutely did. I had the two TVs going. Bang, bang, had both on. Had to. I can't just skip over the Sixers because the Eagles are on. Both mean so much to me. And with the recent struggles of the Sixers, I had to see how they would play. Before we dive more into this, though, do not forget about the promo code BROADS that you can use at SeatGeek's checkout page for $20 off. So you are entertained by going to the game. You get to use $20 on parking, on a beer, on sandwich, whatever you like. It's a no-brainer using it. Promo code BROADS. Use it today. So they took control of the basketball game and beat down on an opponent that had less talent than them. Thank you. Thank you. We needed to see that. In the first quarter, the Sixers outscored them 33-22. In the second quarter, they outscored the Cavs 35-22. Defensively, they were a problem for Cleveland. They protected the rim very well. They got out on fast breaks. And the Sixers, believe it or not, shot the lights out. I'm talking 67%-ish early on in that first half. They were dominating and knocking down every shot. Now, you knew that they weren't going to be able to shoot at that type of clip for the entire game because that's just not what type of team they are. But it was nice that they did, and they had to take advantage of that early. Continue to knock down the shots, continue to make everything, because at some point, you're not going to be as effective as high 60%, close to 70%. It's just not going to be a thing. But they took control of that, and it all started with the defensive side of the basketball, and that's what makes me feel good. Their defense was a problem, and I know Cleveland isn't filled with studs and this elite roster, but we have lost to many bad teams so far this season, so any win right now is good, and any positive win, meaning where you can walk away from the basketball game and say, okay, they played good. That looked solid. It's not a win where you're pissed off about it. You're taking a step in the right direction. Any win right now like that, okay, I'm all for it. They finally win a game on the road again. It's been way too long. Let's not look at the date, because the date, way too long. Tobias Harris stepped up and was efficient. 12 of 14 from the field, 27 points, had 2 steals, 2 blocks, of course a couple rebounds, some assists. It looks like Tobias might have gotten out of that slump. I love the overreaction, right? Oh, we got to get rid of him. We got to trade him when he missed 20-something threes in a row, which is really bad, but it's so simple, right? A player is going to eventually get back to his career numbers, his career stats, what he averages throughout his career. Like, there's enough of a sample size of Tobias Harris to know what type of player he is. There are going to be games where he is very effective. He wasn't going to shoot over 30 every single 4 games. Like, that's not going to happen. So Tobias was very effective, and he was plus 23. I love when he takes it to the rack. I like when he's able to move forward and move off the line and take it to the rim. I'm a big fan of that style of play out of Tobias Harris. 33 assists for the Sixers. So they were moving the ball very well. They were hitting guys cutting to the basket, and of course they were knocking down shots. Obnoxious runs. I mean, I'm talking obnoxious runs for the Sixers throughout the entire course of the game, throughout the 48 minutes. I felt like Mark Zumoff, at one point saying, 25-3 run, 38-4 run, 9-2 run, consistently all throughout the game. And the Sixers really never looked back. In the second half, there were times where Cleveland cut in, but when you're up that big and bench guys come in and You go deep into the bench. Things like that are going to happen. I still walk away very satisfied from that victory. It was a dominating performance. It was what we expected this starting five and this team to look like early in the season. Beat down on a bad opponent, dominate defensively, and that's how they did it. So Al Horford in 29 minutes, only 6 shots, but 11 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds, 2 steals, 2 blocks. That's the Al Horford night of veteran. That's what it is. The veteran who does all the little things. Just a standard day at the office for Al Horford as he clocks in, clocks out, goes back to his wife and kids, and is a dad. It's so funny. I love it. Ben Simmons. So 8 field goal attempts in 26 minutes. 10, 11, and 4 was his stat line. Clearly, I'm frustrated with Ben. He is still not really looking at the basket to shoot. It's frustrating. Now, I will always defend my point. When I say he's frustrating, I do not mean trade him. I do not mean get rid of him. I do not mean he will never work. I think there just has to be adjustments made. That's the answer. That's the fix. There needs to be adjustments made with Ben Simmons. It worked tonight. I want him to be more aggressive offensively. Absolutely. I know he was at spurts in this game, but 8 field goal attempts, all by the rim. That size should say it all, because I'm a big supporter of him. I'm a big fan of his game. But he needs to add to his game, and we all know what that is. And he's just unwilling to do it. Once again, it does not mean trade him. It means find a way to adjust to his style of play or whatever that may be. If it's, put him at a different position, more of a point forward instead of a point guard. Switch some things around. Just something I've been thinking about lately. Josh Richardson struggled from the field. He shot 2 of 12. He's been better as of late. Early on, he was consistently giving us nights like this, it seemed. He had his best game as a Sixer. Last game it was. Was it last game or the game before where he dropped 28 points? I forget off the top of my head. I believe it was last game. But we've been seeing him play better as of late. But in this one, he did shoot poorly from the floor. But the bench stepped up. James Ennis creating spark and energy. 5 of 7 in 16 minutes, 14 points. And how about Korkmaz? His ability to not just shoot from 3, but how about knock down some shots in other ways? He had one beautiful pump fake kick out pass, and takes it to the rack. He finished 5 of 8 from shooting, but only 1 3-pointer. It wasn't a bad day for Furkan off the bench. But it's funny seeing him be effective without the 3-point shooting. See, this is the thing with Furkan Korkmaz. He's been logging in late 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I almost feel as if less is more for him. If he plays 30 minutes, he's not as effective. Now, this game's different because there was blowout time and whatnot, but I'm talking about in a real game when the game is close. I almost feel as if less is more for him. If he was to play 15 to 18 minutes, maybe it's different than if he plays 30 and only has 6 points. That's just how I feel about Furkan Korkmaz. So 14 turnovers, which isn't as bad as what we have seen so far this season. How great is that? 11 blocks, 76% from the free throw line. So still struggling from the free throw line, which is very odd, but 9 3-pointers were hit. Close to 40% from 3. Now, this game, I don't expect the Sixers to shoot this well as a whole from the field, but sometimes games like this happen, and of course, it's very beneficial when that happens. But I don't expect the Sixers to shoot this well as a whole from the field. The first half was absurd. Like I said, close to 70% from the field. It was crazy in the first half. Something that no team can really keep up to that degree. But it would be nice to shoot 39, 40% from the 3-point line as a team. Here's the thing. I thought a lot of guys contributed. Matisse Thybulle was in the mix as well. He knocked down a 3, knocked down a couple shots. I want to continue to see him get some more time. I do. Offensively, though, he still does some things that irritate me. I know one time, you might be watching Ben Simmons too much, actually. He picked up his dribble, and he stopped in midair and tried to kick it out, and it led into a turnover. It's totally something Ben Simmons would do, absolutely, without a doubt. But there was also a time where he drove the baseline. So my point is, I think he needs some more time to gain some experience. I would like to see more of Matisse Thybulle, because when he is in the game, he does affect the game defensively. I do know that spacing is a problem with this team, but he does affect the game defensively. So if you're going to struggle at one point in your game, but you are affecting the game and being a pest on the other side of the court, you are still benefiting the team. And I think he needs more run at it. Because maybe he gets more confident if he drives the baseline more and puts in a basket. Like, he needs to do that so he can gain confidence, so he knows that, hey, I can do this. I've done it before. But he does do some things offensively that irritates me, but that's called being a rookie. That's what that is. That's called being a rookie. I think he has tremendous value, and he is a difference maker defensively. You can laugh and say it's just the Cavaliers. Let's not put too much stock in it. But considering they've looked bad on the road, they've looked bad as a whole in the last 7 games. What are they, 2-5? It's been a tough stretch. I don't care who they played. I care that I saw structure. I saw offense. I saw fast breaks. I saw, the team be effective, make plays. Embiid only had 14 points, but I thought he had some strong play in this. The opponent was clearly not strong. But right now, any sort of confidence is what's important with this team. Let this roll into the next game. They don't play until Wednesday, and then they play Friday, Saturday. So this upcoming week, they got 3 games. They have a couple days off. They got Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, with some opponents on the board that I think can result in victories. It's been a unique start to the season. 8-5 is the record. If they can build off this, it would be lovely. I thought the assists were great. 33 assists. Really moving the ball well. Offensively, it looked normal. It didn't look all over the place. Players lost all the time. It looked normal. And it all started defensively, though. It really did. That first half defensively, it crushed the Cavs. And it totally put them out of it early. Rim protecting, hands in their face, being active, being tough. They were having shot clock violations. They were lost. And that's the power of the length. I think they took notice of that. The Sixers took notice of that. One thing they definitely took notice of, and even the broadcast was talking about it, the fact that when they got up on teams, they never put their foot down and put their Timberland boot on them. I love that analogy. I always use it. Put the Timberland boot on their throats and step down. Al Horford mentioned when they were up a little bit, we just talked about this. Keep going, keep going, keep going. They did. I'm sure that there are some Negadelphia fans out there that will be a little upset with what happened later on in the game and only scoring 19 points in the fourth quarter, but I think the team did their job. They did. They attacked, they abused them, and then when bench guys come in and go deep into the bench, things happen. But the moral of the story is there was flow involved with this team, and that's what matters. Confidence, 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 confidence. More gelling. Gelling as a unit. Only way to do that, play more games. So, Tobias, fantastic. 27 points, fantastic. You guys still want to trade him? It was obvious that he was going to snap out of that slump at some point. And there'll be a game where he struggles again. And then there'll be a game when he has this. He's totally worthy of being on this roster. Let's make that very clear. So with that being said, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.